Hi everyone, I'm JD, welcome back to my channel. Alright, I'm here to share my April journal page spread for the challenge I've got going, and the prompt for this month was memorable year. So choose a year that stands out in some way, for either an event that happened that year or something you learnt or something that changed your life. So for me, I have a year that stands out. It was really easy for me to pick a year, 2011, because that was the year I did the craziest thing I've ever done. I walked from Sydney to Melbourne for a charity walk, and I will share about the whole story behind this in this video, and how it changed my life as well. So it all started when actually with football. I'm a big football fan for what it teaches me about life and faith. And Shane Crawford, who is an AFL footy player, Keanu, here in Australia, he's a retired footy player, and he did a charity run from Adelaide to Melbourne for breast cancer. And watching his journey, it impacted me so much. The way he impacted so many lives, and people would come up to him and tell them their story with breast cancer, and they'll cry in his arms, and he would cry, and just the way it impacted his life and impacted the people in his around him and impacted strangers' lives. I was just so inspired by all of that, and I'd never ever wanted to do a walk or run like this before, because I actually really do not like walking. It was a big joke. As soon as I told people I don't like walking, they're like, what do you mean? Why are you doing the walk for charity? And I was like, yeah, I know, good question. And it all came about because of this charity run that Shane did. And I thought to myself, after watching that, I want to do something like he did. I remember watching a video he did, and he got to a point where he was just like, I don't know why I did this. I regret doing it. He almost got to the point of regretting what he did because of, the physical pain he was in and all that. But he pushed through. He kept going and endured because of the people it was impacting. And I thought, man, I admire his courage for doing that. And for some reason, I wanted to challenge myself so that I would also get to that place and be like, man, this is too hard, but I'm going to do it anyway because of the impact it's going to have on people. And so I did this charity walk. But there's another side to the story. Of course, it didn't just happen overnight or anything. My friend, she came up with the idea to do a charity walk. She actually loves walking. It's one of her passions, and she was a missionary in India, and so she has a real heart to change lives and change the world and help people. And so it was her vision and her dream and her plan. She put this whole thing together. She created the walk for charity, and to raise money for the Dalits in India, who are the untouchables. In India, there's this caste system, hey Keanu, where they treat people in the caste system where they treated people lower than dogs, basically lower than animals, if you're in this particular Dalit. I don't know, is it caste or caste? I should probably know that. Anyway, so she had this heart to raise money for that through walking and this charity, and she did a whole bunch of research and set it all up, and she brought together a team of 8 people. And she asked me, once I told her that vision, that dream that Shane Crawford gave me, she asked me if I would like to do this walk with her. It was a 6-week walk from Sydney to Melbourne, from the Sydney Opera House to the to Sky High, which is a lookout in Mount Dandenong, where we both lived in Melbourne. So it was 30k a day on average, walking 30k a day for 6 days a week, and on Wednesdays that was our rest day. And so 43 days altogether. And to cap it all off, on our last day we did a moonwalk. So there's this charity event that she knows through these people who run it, called the Moonwalk, which goes from 9 p.m. till 9 a.m. It's a 45k walk, and so we tagged along with that charity event at the end of our walk from Sydney to Melbourne. It almost killed me. So I found that walk, that charity walk from the Moonwalk, harder than the walk from Sydney to Melbourne. But it was, to support the cause, because that charity walk raised money for the same cause that we were raising money for. So it was fitting that we joined in with it. And so there were 2 walkers, this lady and I, and then we had a driver who sat in this car the whole time. Am I in frame? Sorry, I'm sitting down for this. And we had to have caution, walkers on road on the roof of the car, and a flashing amber light. We did the whole applications to do the charity walk through the government and everything. So there were all these requirements that we had to do. We had to wear safety vests, these bright fluoro vests the whole time we were on the road. And yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Our driver, the way God brought people together, we didn't know him before this, but he has a heart to change the world as well, a heart to change lives. So he just came on board to be our driver, and he probably had the hardest job out of all of us, because the sheer boredom of being in that car. He had to be 2k ahead of us at all times, warning traffic that we were going to be on the road. And, so he would just drive ahead, stop, wait for us to catch up, drive ahead, wait, and on and on. So yeah, it was a tough job, and he didn't get much praise or recognition from it, because my friend and I doing the walk got all the attention, and so we just got to remember him in the car and everything. So anyway, and then we had other walkers join us throughout the 6 weeks. So we were the 3 ones who did the whole 6 weeks, and then we had people who were cooks for us, and some people who joined us on the walk as well on different days. And we had this thing called Feet for a Day, where people in the towns that we passed through could fundraise with us, and they did their own fundraising in their own churches and home groups, and they could join us on the walk for a day or for a couple of hours or whatever. So we had various people walking with us throughout the trip, and it was absolutely amazing. So people from the charity billeted us. Their contacts, they sent out an email to say, "Oh, Keanu, stop that," to see if anyone could put us up for a night. And Bev's work also did this. The lady who I did the walk with, she worked for a missionary company organisation, and they put an email out to everyone along the road from Sydney to Melbourne. So through that, we stayed with someone, a different stranger, pretty much every night except for 3. No, we camped for 3 nights, and sometimes we stayed in motels or youth hostels, but every other time we were staying with a family or a person. And it was absolutely amazing, just travelling from town to town. We felt like Paul and Silas, travelling from town to town, bringing this message of helping those in need. And oh my gosh, how it changed me. So it changed me because it showed me more of what I was capable of, I suppose. It helped me to step out of the box and to step out of my own expectations of what I could do. And, it was so crazy. This is so far out of what I would normally do. And so it gave me this new boldness in life. For example, when I came back from the walk, enrolled in beginner adult ballet classes. So this was always a dream of mine, to start ballet, do ballet, and I was always too shy to do it as a kid. And finally, at the age of 26, because of the walk and the boldness it gave me, I enrolled in my first ballet class. And look at me now. If you've followed my journey, I have got point shoes and performed with a tutu on stage last year in a musical. And so it did big things in my life. It helped me to a dream come true with ballet. And it also helped in a very big way with another dream. So it showed me my dream was writing, and oh, Keanu, just alright, anyways, he's a bit of a distraction at the moment. He is clawing me and jumping on me. So let's just see if he will settle down. Alright, Keanu, you need to settle down, little buddy. Alright, let's just give you hugs then. Alright, so one of the other ways, was through writing this book. So I discovered my dream that I all along wanted to be a writer, and this walk gave me the courage to pursue this dream, no matter what people would think of it, and it led me to writing my first full book, and it was called The Walk Chronicles, right here, a journal from Sydney to Melbourne, and that just tracks the whole journey, every day, the trip, and everything that I learned on that trip, and absolutely amazing. If anyone's interested in reading that book, you can buy it on Amazon for $5, I think it is. No, $10 I think on Amazon as an ebook. So that's that book, and it has led to more books. I have now written, I've written a second book about my time at Beach Mission, everything I learnt from that, and I'm working on now the mental health art book as well. So that started the whole journey though, this walk. And how that happened, the driver, he actually got a word for us when he was praying for the team, and the word that he got for me, or the picture he got for me, was firecracker. And he was just saying how I was helping my friend Bev make her dream come true with the walk, even though it wasn't my passion. Walking wasn't something I enjoyed. And he was just saying, when I found the thing that got my heart going, then I would shine light everywhere and just explode like a firecracker. And eventually I learned that the thing I was meant to do was to write, and that would be the thing that would let the firecracker explode, so to speak. And so that's why I've got firecracker written here. Let's put this aside. So these are the shoes that I wore on the trip. I always get questions about how many pairs of shoes did you go through. I took 4 pairs and had to rotate them because of rain and mud and all that kind of stuff. So as a pair was drying, I could wear another pair. And Keanu, stop biting me. So 4 pairs of shoes, and Keanu. Alright, hang on. I'll be back. Alright, I just put him in the bathroom because he was biting and clawing at me, my goodness. So it was hard to narrow down the pictures, right? So I had to include the card because that was with us the whole way. And then this one was my favourite picture of the trip, I think. I don't know why, but just because this was the moon walk, and it's the end of the walk, and we were just looking over the view, and I was like, that's some of us, the team members. And then this is just a shot of us on the road, walking. So I had to include that too. What do I want to say? So what this represents, by the way, Denise sent me this along with her journal that she sent me a while ago in some Happy Mail. Oh, and this is a picture of the border crossing going into Victoria. She sent me this with the frog. Okay, and the story behind this, I wrote it on the back, or the significance of the card, but one of the days it was pouring with rain, torrential rain, and as we were walking along, my friend said to me, "Oh, look, there's a frog," and she said, "Oh, you stepped on it." And I squealed because I was mortified that I may have stepped on a frog. I didn't feel anything, so I'm not sure if I actually did step on it, but who knows. But the idea was just, even though I'm not the biggest fan of frogs, I don't really like frogs. I don't like, I like animals in general. So the thought of me killing an animal, oh no, that was too much. And anyway, so she told the story to our driver, because at the end of each day we would share our highlight and our low light, and her highlight for that day was me stepping on that frog. And just the banter afterwards, not me killing a frog, no, but the banter between us afterwards, and she was making fun of me, and I was just, cracking up because she was making fun of me, but at the same time I was almost in tears because I was that mortified that I could have killed a frog. And then the driver just got stuck into me, Daz, and he was just like, "Oh, and I thought you were the kind-hearted one, and now you're killing animals." And I was like, no, and tears and laughter at the same time were coming out of my eyes. So then I got the nickname. He nicknamed me Frogzilla. And so Denise actually bought my book, and she was reading it and mentioned to me in an email about Frogzilla, and so that was the reference to Frogzilla. So yeah, there were a lot of fun stories on the walk. There was also a lot of pain. I oh my gosh, I suffered from the worst feet. I got a allergy to sports tape, and if you don't like feet, warning, don't look. And I'm not sure if that's showing up very well, but it just puffed up and it blistered, and it didn't hurt. The problem was, and I'm just recording the journey of my feet, so this is me with the double-sided tape. Then I got cankles because they were blowing up with liquid, and then they just went crazy. They felt like they were on fire, like a million bull ants had bitten me, and they just got redder and purpler, and then my feet just went crazy and bloated up, and it was just not pretty. And then they started peeling, and then finally I got back to normal feet. But I mean, it was just, that was the worst part of the walk. For 1 week my feet were just on fire. They were so itchy. It was horrible. It was like unbearable. But I didn't really get any blisters, so my whole fear going into the walk was that I would get blisters and be in too much pain to finish. And I thank God that I didn't get any horrible blisters, and all I had to put up with was this insanely itchy feet. Oh my goodness. Oh, it was seriously horrible. Going back to another way the walk changed me. So this was one of the big lessons. Alright, I can't stand him meowing. I'm gonna get him. Hi honey, you gonna settle down now, little one? You settle down now. Okay. Alright, so before the walk I was really nervous about speaking in public, because what we did was we spoke at churches and home groups and youth groups and schools on the way through from Sydney to Melbourne, raising awareness for the Dalits, and they would often take up an offering for us that would go to the Dalits. And so I was really nervous about that part of it, the speaking part of it. In high school I actually, I just hated public speaking. In uni I actually chose subjects based on if it had public speaking or not, and didn't choose the ones that had public speaking. So that's just a background to how much I didn't like it. But what it did was I found that I could do public speaking. It may always make me feel nervous, but now I know that I can do it, because what I learnt was I felt credible on the walk. I was living what I believed. I wanted to put my life into action, and I forgot to mention this at the start, but so the other reason I did it wasn't just for that challenge of doing something for a sacrifice, the way that Shane did, to do something for others and have an impact on others. The other reason I did it is because of my core belief of, we're here for others, and we can I talk? We are here to use what we have for others. And that year mission was my theme, and I knew that I just wanted to do something to do with mission. I had no idea what it was, and I was praying about it, and I was like, will I feed the homeless? Will I, visit the elderly? Will I make hampers for people? And he said, nope, you're walking from Sydney to Melbourne. So that's how I knew it was from God. Not my plan at all. It came from left field. And what I learned through that though was, well, I have feet, and I have a voice, and I can use those two things to help people. It's as simple as that. Use whatever you have. We all have something to give. And so as I was speaking and sharing my heart about this, as we travelled through the towns, people just came up to us all the time and just said, wow, what you shared just really impacted me, and it's challenged me to live that way too, and it's really challenged me to use what I have and to live for others and to sacrifice. And I was just like, what? Oh my gosh, the words I'm saying are impacting people. And these were like older people, more wise people than us. And so we were always just blown away by how much they were loving our words. They said that we encouraged them. And I was like, what, really? And that's what I learned was that when you are just being yourself and sharing your heart, that's when you have an impact. And when you're using what you've been given, that's when you have an impact. So I felt credible. You know, I had a message to share, and I was living it, so therefore I could share it. I was living my beliefs, putting them into action. I was walking the walk so I could talk the talk. And so as long as I know that what I believe and I'm doing it, then I can share. Like, there might be fear or nerves or whatever, but I know now that I could go into any place and share. It's not about the fear going away. That will always be there. I always stammer and stutter and go red and all of that. But I love sharing my heart. That's what it taught me. I just love sharing my heart. And knowing that it impacts people, wow. Alright, so that is one thing there. And I think that's all I need to say. That's the 3 main ways it really impacted me. The dream of, you know... Oh, the other thing! So giving me more boldness to, you know, go to ballet, write a book, and then speak in public. Well, there was another way, actually, and that was, it gave me the courage and boldness to move to Queensland. So my whole life I thought that I would just stay in in Melbourne, in my childhood neighbourhood, and, you know, that would be my life forever. And not that there's anything wrong with it at all. Part of me actually really wants that. But just that at a time where I felt God say, you know, you need to go to Bowen and have a change and a challenge and to grow, because you grow through challenges and you grow through change. And I needed to get to that point. I was stagnating where I was, and I felt like I was kind of suffocating, so I needed to go to Bowen, but never thought I would. And then I did the walk, you know, and got the courage to then make that big huge move in 2014. And I'm still here in Bowen. It was only supposed to be for a year, but fell in love with the beaches and the sun, so I'm still here. But maybe I never would have come here if it wasn't for the walk. And that is how the walk has absolutely, completely changed my life and impacted me. And yeah, it's the reason, you know, why I write. Well, one of the reasons why I write and share my heart now, and can do that on my YouTube channel. And yeah, that is that. So, I think I've covered everything. Oh, and I will link below a YouTube video that my friend did, Bev, the lady who created the walk. She has this promo video that we shared when we were raising awareness about the walk at the start of this whole journey, and I will link it below in case anyone's interested in seeing that promo video. It's pretty funny. I like watching it every now and then, but I don't know if anyone else is interested. And I'll link below the book in Amazon if anyone's interested, where I just talk about all of this kind of stuff. But I go into a lot more about how daily we saw God show up, and daily the lessons that he taught us through the people we met. And yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Really, 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 really amazing. And I don't know, I think I better stop rambling. Cool. Alright, thanks guys for watching. I should mention the journal prompts if anyone is not sure what I'm talking about. I will link below the playlists and the intro video to this whole challenge. Basically every month I have a prompt, and then people can enter the challenge by doing a page spread around the prompt, and then everyone is sharing it on, or most people are sharing it on the Willow Bound Journals Facebook group page, and so that way everyone can see each other's journal entries. Some are filming them on YouTube on their channels, and I'll link below my own page spreads that I've already done so far, and you can feel free to join the challenges. Each month there's a different prize up for grabs, sometimes a journal, sometimes a voucher from my shop or something like that. So yeah, and if anyone does all of the prompts, all 12, not necessarily within the time frame of the month, if you just want to do all 12 in December, as long as I can see them, so I know you've done it, then there's a grand prize at the end of the year for someone who has done the prompts for all 12. So just about journaling, my heart for journaling, to encourage people to journal and see the benefits of documenting your life and memories, the good and the bad. So that was one thing I felt like was tripping people up with this prompt. It seems like people were struggling to come up with a happy year or happy memory or moment to document, but that's okay, because life is full of all spectrum of emotions and moments, and we don't just have to journal about the good things. Maybe something horrible happened, but that had a big impact on you, and I don't know, it's worth journaling about that and documenting it anyway. And I feel like there's a taboo around sharing the negative, dark side of life, but I see not a single bit of taboo in that at all. So go for it if that's the idea. But memorable year doesn't necessarily need to be memorable year. It's whatever you interpret it as. What changed your life? What happened? What event? Good, bad, indifferent, whatever. So you can still enter this month's one. It is what, 26th of April. So you got a bit of time. Otherwise you can just do it in your own time or not at all, whatever. But hopefully it's helpful and useful and fun to do. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.